Most people are not stuck because they do not know enough. They already know they should exercise. They know they should work on the business, write the book, make the video, apply for the opportunity, clean up their finances, or have the conversation they have been avoiding. The problem is not always a lack of information. The problem is that they keep waiting. Waiting to feel motivated. Waiting to feel confident. Waiting for a better plan, a better time, or some kind of guarantee that everything will work out. But the longer you wait, the heavier the action becomes. A simple first step turns into a giant decision. Fear grows. Doubt gets louder. And eventually, doing nothing starts to feel normal. The truth is that your life does not change when you think about changing it. Your life changes when you move. That is the central idea behind my book, Action is Everything. How to stop overthinking, start moving, and create the life you want. Thinking can help you prepare. Planning can point you in the right direction. Learning can give you useful tools. But only action turns an idea into something real. In this video, I want to show you why action creates confidence, how to escape perfectionism and overthinking, how to keep moving when motivation disappears, and how to build real momentum through small steps. Most people have confidence backwards. They think confidence is something they need before they begin. They tell themselves, I will make the video when I feel more comfortable. I will start exercising when I feel more motivated. I will publish the work when I believe in myself. I will take the opportunity when I am finally ready. But confidence usually does not arrive first. Confidence is built after you take action. Think about almost anything you know how to do today. You probably did not feel completely confident the first time you tried it. Your first attempt may have been awkward, uncomfortable, or badly done. But you tried it. Then you learned something. Then you tried again. Eventually, the thing that once felt frightening became familiar. That is how confidence is really created. Confidence is evidence. You take an action and discover that you survived it. You make the call and realize it was not as terrifying as you imagined. You write the page and realize you can write another one. You publish something imperfect and discover that the world did not end. Every action gives you a small piece of evidence that you are capable of acting again. That creates a loop. You act. You receive feedback. You improve. You feel more capable. Then you are willing to take a slightly bigger action. This is why avoiding something often makes the fear worse. When you refuse to act, you do not receive any new evidence. All you have are the stories in your mind about what might happen. The task grows larger in your imagination. The conversation becomes scarier. The project feels more complicated. You tell yourself that waiting will make you feel better, but waiting often gives fear more time to speak. Action interrupts that story. It brings you back into contact with reality, and reality is usually easier to deal with than the disaster movie playing in your mind. This does not mean every action will succeed. You will make mistakes. You will have awkward attempts. Some ideas will fail. Some videos will not perform well. Some plans will have to be changed. But failure does not mean the confidence loop is broken. Failure is part of the loop. A bad first attempt still teaches you something. A mistake gives you information. An imperfect result shows you what to change next. You do not need enough confidence to finish the entire journey. You only need enough courage to take the next step. Perfectionism can sound like a positive quality. You care about your work. You want to do things correctly. You have high standards. There is nothing wrong with wanting to produce something good. But perfectionism often becomes fear wearing respectable clothing. It is fear of judgment, fear of embarrassment, fear that your work will not match the perfect version you imagined, fear that you will try your best and discover that you still have room to improve. So you keep preparing, you keep editing, you keep researching, you keep telling yourself that the project is almost ready. But it never leaves your computer. It never reaches another person. It never becomes real. That is when perfectionism stops being a commitment to quality and becomes a form of avoidance. I have experienced this with writing books. There is always another sentence that could be rewritten, another chapter that could be adjusted, another title to question, another cover idea to consider. If I waited until every book felt absolutely perfect, I might never publish anything. At some point, you have to accept that a finished book can help someone, while a perfect book trapped on your computer helps no one. The same is true for almost every kind of work. A useful video that actually exists can reach people. A perfect imaginary video reaches nobody. Your 80% version is often better than you think. You can see every tiny flaw because you are so close to the work. You remember every decision you struggled with. You know where every imperfection is hiding. But the person watching, reading, or using your work is usually asking a much simpler question. Does this help me? They are not comparing your finished work to the flawless version inside your head. They cannot see that version. They can only see what you were brave enough to release. Overthinking works in a similar way. You feel uncertain, so you search for more information. More information gives you more options. More options create more uncertainty. Then you search again. Eventually, you are not solving the problem anymore. You are circling it. The way out of the overthinking loop is usually not another hour of thinking. It is a small test. Instead of asking, is this the perfect path for the rest of my life? Ask, what could I test this week? Try the workout. Write the first few pages. Record the rough version. Make one offer. Publish one piece of content. Treat the decision like an experiment instead of a permanent declaration about your future. Action produces something imagination cannot produce: real feedback. The business idea becomes clearer when you try to sell something. The fitness plan becomes clearer when you follow it for a week. The writing project becomes clearer when you begin writing. The video becomes clearer when you record the first version. Clarity does not usually appear while you remain perfectly still. Clarity comes from contact with reality. Motivation is useful when it appears. The problem is that motivation is unreliable. Some days you wake up ready to work. Other days you feel tired, distracted, discouraged, or bored. If your plan only works when you feel highly motivated, it is not a very strong plan. Most people imagine the process like this. First, motivation appears. Then they take action. Then they get results. But many times, the real process works in the opposite direction. First, you take a small action. That action creates movement. Movement creates energy. Energy creates motivation. You do not wait for the spark. You strike the match. This is where the 2-minute rule can help. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it now instead of allowing it to become another open loop in your mind. Reply to the simple message. Write down the idea. Put away the object. Schedule the appointment. Handle the small task before it grows into mental clutter. The second version of the rule is even more powerful. Begin any large goal with a 2-minute action. Want to write a book? Open the document and write one sentence. Want to start exercising? Put on your shoes and move for 2 minutes. Want to create videos? Record one rough practice clip. Want to clean the house? Clean one surface. The goal is not to transform your life in 2 minutes. The goal is to make starting so easy that your brain has fewer excuses. Starting is often the hardest part. Before you begin, the task is still a giant abstract object in your imagination. But once you start, it becomes something real and manageable. You are no longer thinking about writing. You are writing. You are no longer thinking about exercise. You are moving. You are no longer thinking about the video. You are recording it. Some days, the 2-minute action will turn into an hour of productive work. Other days, 2 minutes may be all you do. Both still count because you are maintaining the identity of someone who shows up. That is also why small streaks are so valuable. Choose one action that is simple enough to repeat. One sentence a day. One short walk. One page read. One idea recorded. One small step on the project. The action does not have to look impressive. It has to be repeatable. Every time you keep that promise, you teach yourself that you are someone who follows through. Keep the minimum small, especially on difficult days. You can always do more than the minimum, but the minimum should be easy enough to keep the streak alive. And when you miss a day, do not turn it into a story about how you always fail. Use the rule, never miss twice. One missed day is a normal human moment. 2 missed days can begin a new pattern. Return quickly. Your environment can also make action easier. Put the tools you need where you can see them. Leave the document easy to open. Place your walking shoes near the door. Prepare your workspace before you stop for the day. Keep your phone in another room during focused work. Turn off unnecessary notifications. You do not have to rely entirely on willpower. Make the right action easier and the distracting action slightly harder. Small environmental changes can prevent you from fighting the same battle every day. Not all action produces the same result. You can stay busy all day and still avoid the work that would move your life forward. You can organize files, watch tutorials, rearrange your schedule, check statistics, compare tools, and research strategies. At the end of the day, you feel tired. But the chapter is still unwritten. The video is still unrecorded. The workout still did not happen. The important conversation is still being avoided. Busyness can become a socially acceptable form of procrastination. It allows you to feel productive while protecting you from the discomfort of real progress. Ask yourself, what is the one action that would make the biggest difference right now? If you want to write a book, the important action is probably writing pages, not changing the font again. If you want to grow a YouTube channel, the important action is probably making videos, not spending every day studying the algorithm. If you want to improve your health, the important actions are probably walking, strength training, sleeping better, and improving the way you eat. The high-impact action is often obvious. It is also usually the action surrounded by the most resistance. Resistance is the sudden urge to check your phone. It is the voice that says tomorrow would be a better day. It is the feeling that you need more research before beginning. Resistance often appears near meaningful work. Do not assume discomfort means you should stop. Sometimes discomfort means you are standing at the edge of growth. When resistance appears, make the action smaller, but do not make it optional. Start ugly. Write the rough paragraph. Record the awkward first take. Do the 5-minute workout. Create the imperfect draft. The first version does not need to be beautiful. It needs to exist. And as you work, track the actions you control. You cannot fully control whether a video becomes popular, but you can control whether you make and publish it. You cannot completely control whether a book sells today, but you can control whether you write, improve, publish, and promote it. You cannot control every fluctuation on the scale, but you can control whether you walk, sleep, and eat in a way that supports your health. Outcomes matter, but inputs are where your power lives. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what action did I take? What did I follow through on? What small win can I give myself credit for? Progress often feels boring while it is happening. The visible results may arrive later, but the person capable of creating those results is being built right now. Before this video ends, think of one thing you have been putting off. Do not choose 10 different goals. Choose one. Now ask yourself, what is the smallest real step I could take today? Not the entire plan, not the final result, just the next action. Open the document. Put on the shoes. Send the message. Record the first take. Make the appointment. Work on the project for 2 minutes. You do not need to become a different person before you begin. You become a different person because you begin. Action is not something you take after you become confident, motivated, disciplined, or ready. Action is how you become those things. You already know enough to take the next step. Maybe you do not know the 100th step yet. That is fine. The 100th step is not your responsibility today. Your responsibility is the step in front of you. No one else can take it for you, but no one else needs to give you permission either. You can begin with what you have, where you are, today. If these ideas connected with you, they come from my book, Action is Everything. How to Stop Overthinking, Start Moving, and Create the Life You Want. The book goes deeper into beating perfectionism, building confidence through action, overcoming resistance, creating better habits, and following a simple 7-day action plan. You can find it on Amazon through the link in the description. But whether you read the book or not, do not let this become another video you watch, agree with, and then forget. Choose the action. Take the step. Start before you feel completely ready. You are not just a dreamer anymore. You are a doer.